So there's things that have umami in them. And that means it's basically an indescribable thing that completes a dish, right?
But it is
Parmesan
kind of,
cheese, soy sauce.
they're sweet, they're salty. Well, umami is kind of a combination of both.
Right.
And it's very big, especially in Japanese food and Japanese culture. There's things that are redolent in it with it, right? Mushrooms, soy sauces. These are things that sort of really punch up other foods. Anchovies, American cheeseburgers, very rich in umami. Add cheeseburgers to everything is what I'm suggesting.
I was hanging out with this girl and she just learned that word. I wanted to strangle her.
What, cheeseburger?
No.
I would strangle that.
Wow, that was beautiful. So she was like, oh, the umami in this. I'm like, it's ranch dressing. There's no umami, okay?
But there is MSG in that.
There is. But it's funny, yeah. Top high-end chefs every day are making the food taste more like fast food, unfortunately, because that's where people's palate is. If you ate in restaurants that I ate 15, 20 years ago, you would need a bucket of salt. It was so bland.
Yeah.
It was so bland because people's palate was a lot softer.
Well, aren't the palates just dead? Like with all the salts and oils, doesn't that kind of destroy your taste buds?
I would say they're dead, but there's a lot of people that are numb to nuance.
Right.
Before the nuances of cooking a chicken fricassee with, just putting fresh sage or tarragon, people would pick up on it. Like the chicken that we were at a beautiful restaurant today. That's old school food.
Barbuto.
Classic. Jonathan Waxman. Roasted chicken with a little olive oil on it and tarragon.
Did you get the invite, Vic?
I didn't get invited.
Yeah, I didn't get the invite for this one.
I think you guys were recording a podcast at the time.
Megan got invited.
Can we go to sushi for a second? So that's one thing.
I'm so fat. I'm like, all right, let's go.
We were just getting up to leave.
You were just ending the show.
Sweet podcast, bro.
I love my sushi. I love spending extra money on sushi. And when you start doing that and realizing the quality of the sushi, you can never go back.
No.
And to me, it's all about the tuna. And I read an article, maybe you could back me up on this, Nick, but most tuna is bullshit. It's not real. And it's down to a percentage, like I think in New York City, could you help me out? It's like less than 10% of the sushi restaurants are actually serving tuna, and it's another fish?
There is a lot, and fish in general is a really bad.
I'm an expert at shrimp bullshit, seafood bullshit.
But I love tuna sushi. That's my favorite.
No, but if you go to a high-end sushi restaurant,
right,
and you see the guy cutting the toro in front of you,
yeah,
chances are that's the real deal, right? And the Japanese are the way that Japanese kill fish compared to the way that we kill fish in the West,
completely different.
It's completely different. The way we kill fish is actually not good for the meat,
right?
Because we let the thing suffocate, and that releases all kinds of hormones and enzymes, and it makes the fish not as good as the way.
And how do they kill it?
There's a certain technique. You angle the fish and you kill.
Fucking strangle it!
No,
like your career.
No, not your career. No wood
chipper. Turn
emoji.
Well, how do they do it for real?
There's actually it's you have to learn how to do it. I don't know how to do it.
They will slice the neck and then they will literally stick this wire down the spine.
Jesus,
which just basically knocks out. It basically knocks out any kind of any endocrines, any kind of enzymes, anything. Nothing is happening, right? It just basically puts that flesh into this state of stasis. It's just dead, right? When we kill a fish,
so it doesn't get the chance to release all the stuff that makes
all of those, right? The adrenaline, the adrenaline dump from death and from suffocating and all of that.
Prehistoric fish like skate, they piss through their meat. So literally, they the way they go to the bathroom is they filter through the meat. It comes out through the skin. So that's why they're like, oh, that tastes like ammonia. I'm like, that's piss, honey. you're literally right. Piss. Right. You're literally a piss eater.
So most of the tuna is BS.
Well, here's the thing.
Sushi joints.
That article is right and wrong. So what it's saying is most of it isn't tuna, but most of it isn't that type of tuna. That's the problem. There's a lot of lower grade tunas. And some places even scam it, and they'll put a porpoise in there, like a dolphin, which kind of has the same.
What do you mean by lower grade tuna? They're sneaking fish into the tuna. For
example,
certain species into the tuna category.
Like, say you get an albacore or something like that, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad. Like, each tuna species has maybe 10 subspecies. It's a pretty proficient. Tuna is pretty wide what it carries,
and diverse.
It goes from a fish the size of a guppy to one that looks like a 60-mile-an-hour torpedo, right? But what's funny is you can take like an albacore or like what you would make tuna fish out of, right? Make it a steak. And what the companies do is they take it and they cut it in portions and they run it through carbon dioxide and it turns it red. And then they'll sell it as tuna. So whenever you go, if you ever look at a frozen tuna box, turn it around, it says colored by carbon dioxide. They have to put it on there. So most of what you're eating is tuna, but since they carboned it or put carbon dioxide through it, they gassed it. And no one be surprised. Most of the tomatoes you eat, they do the exact same thing. So most of your tomatoes live in carbon dioxide, and like literally like putting a tomato in the muffler of your car, and that's what makes them red, because they're picked so early that they ripen inside of some Walmart truck on the way to the thing.
Oh my god!
So most tomatoes are green. So
Opie's being faced with this like this like dystopian future of food.
yeah, and the funny
not gonna
thing
eat
is, it's
another meal
and you're
Last
gassing
meal.
all these produce, but the produce never gets cooked. You're actually just eating it. Whereas the tuna, at least you got a shot. You know what I mean? Maybe,
Right, well, right.
somebody will do like one of those old pepper sear tuna jobs.
Right,
you know what I
right,
mean?
slice it like the cheer.
But most of that tuna is gassed. You know, there's so much things that go out there. Like whenever you see something that's less than $30 and it has like I never like to get things like lobster mac and cheese because the odds of it being lobster are almost zero. So they make this synthetic lobster. Now, what they do is on these boats, they catch a lot of different fish and shad and all this garbage, and they have a machine, and they take all this fish, and they compress it to look like lobster meat. And then they put red dye around it, and they slice it, and then there you go.
Oh
There's your
my
lobster.
It's like that crab you see in the delis, which is all the same shape with the same tinge of red on the
ARAB.
outside.
Right. Not real.
Not real.
What about red snapper? I like a good red snapper.
That's probably the most forged fish.
I think Fred Snapper is that is like it's like 78% or something of like of snapper in New York State. It was mislabeled.
Oh yeah, it's not. And I'm Cuban, and we know red snapper, right? So we only eat king red snapper, which has the yellow stripe. So they have it's a very delicate fish. So through nature, it's developed this yellow stripe so that its predator thinks it's an eel when it's swimming through the water, and they leave him alone. But that snapper is absolutely delicious. Now, on either side of it, there are at least 100 different snappers, and they suck balls.
Really?
Every time I'm somebody's like, "Oh, you're Cuban. We made red snapper." I'm like, "No, you didn't. You made a giant swimming disappointment face."
That's my second ex-wife.
It's so crazy, and I just watch people, and they struggle because they want to do things right. You know, they want to do the right thing, and I'm like, "What are you doing?" You know, and it's the research is right under the surface. It's literally right under the surface, and no one really talks about it.
Now, continuing with fish, we've overfished the oceans. So
Who cares?
no, but
I have no sympathy for him. I'll be dead. I don't care what happens.
no, I'm not going with the whole global
right,
warming
Al Gore.
thing. But as far as restaurants go, they've been running out of fish. So now they've been serving fish they never would have served many, many years ago, and they just changed the names of these fish to make them sound exotic.
Monkfish is the perfect. Monkfish used to be called dogfish.
Dogfish.
Who's going to buy dogfish?
Right.
No one bought dogfish.
Right.
Now it's monkfish. It sounds celestial and
Right.
sort of, like
It's still not that good.
it's.
No,
it
but
tastes like dogfish.
But they romanticize it. They serve it with all the sauces and stuff because it's not that great of a fish, but. It's because we overfish the oceans, right? And so you still want fish at your restaurant. So that's when they started. I think the other one is Chilean sea bass, isn't it? Isn't that right?
Patagonian toothfish.
Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you.
There you
Yeah.
go.
Exactly.
Right.
But they never served that back. You never.
Because who's
ordered
going to
it.
eat Patagonian toothfish?
Right. But then
Just
also-
like Carl said.
It sounds like a sexual perversion, right?
But then also they
Like,
realized.
that was my third wife.
I was going to go there.
I know. I caught you now. I got you that.
You
The
cut 'em
wheels
off.
turning.
But then they just changed the name to Chilean sea bass, and everyone
And
thinks
now
it's
it's
amazing
exotic and it's,
exotic, and you could spend, you could charge $30.
Wasn't there
whatever.
the dolphin fish is...
There's a couple porpoises that you can eat. Dolphins are actually delicious,
Really?
but there's a lot of different dolphins.
Right.
Mahi's actually considered a dolphin.
I thought it was a dolphin fish.
Yeah,
was
it's a
one of the-
dolphin.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
There's a lot of dolphins,
But you mentioned Chilean sea bass.
which sucks, by the way.
No, I know
But you know
that.
that like Maine uni
Right.
can come from Chile?
Yeah, really?
It makes no sense.
Wait,
right?
what do you mean?
Because the Maine shuts down their uni reserves a couple of months every few years.
Right.
The state of Maine.
The state of Maine,
Okay.
who has, you know what uni is?
Yeah,
Sea
yeah,
urchin?
yeah.
So sea urchin is
Gonad.
very big in Japan, big in Santa Barbara, California,
Right.
and it also grows in Maine. Now, what happens is when they shut down those things, the Sea Urchin Association, whatever the trade group is, was able to persuade the government to allow them to import Chilean sea urchin and sell it as Maine sea urchin, and it doesn't taste the same. I've had chefs who were like, "It's a complete." You would be able to tell, like it might be the same species, but it's not the same product, right? In the same way that like you go to Red Lobster, that's not like going to a seafood. You know, that's a langoustine versus a Maine lobster.
Oh, absolutely. Lobsters are so scammy too, man. I mean, unless you give, one time a chef told me make a lobster mac and cheese for the restaurant, and I said okay. So I made a mac and cheese, and then I steamed a lobster and put it right next to it. I said, he goes, what the hell is this? I'm like, lobster mac and cheese. He goes, put them together. I'm like, you put them together. And it was one of the best-selling things because people got the practicality of it. They were like, wow, it's $30. Oh, shit, a lobster. And it worked. And I did it just to prove a point. Like, just be honest with people. You know, serve the steak with the fat. Like, give them that size. You know, some people might want it. Some people may not want it.
Right.
And food has gotten so it's not honest anymore. You know, you used to go to the store and you'd get a banana or free range meant free range. I remember the first time I went to a chicken farm and I saw free range, right? So they had the regular chickens, which let me start from the beginning with chicken farm. A lot of things don't bother me. But there was one thing, and there was a killing zone in there. Rah! It did not bother me at all, right? I'm like, everything's dying on that side, everything's living on this side, I get it. But they're showing me the chicks, the little chicks. Now, they're really cute. Even for me that's dead inside, I think a little chicken's cute. For 5 minutes, and then I'll kill it. But the guy goes, oh, let's go into the chick room. And I'm like, woo, chick room, sweet. So you go in there, and the room looks like a lab. Like it's shelved, like drawers. And I open the drawer and there's full of live little chicks. They keep them in these drawers. Oh. And I'm like, shut up. I'm like, open that drawer. Oh my God, more chickens. Open that drawer. Oh my God, this room's full of chickens. And they're just in, and you would open it and they look at you, tweet, 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 tweet. And I'm like, oh, I don't want them to know me. Like, you know what I mean? Wow. I feel like I'm running the camp here. You know what I mean? Wow. It blew my mind. There's in complete darkness, just a thing. And then they put them on a little conveyor belt, and you see them.
Not even a light? Nothing?
No, they're good. They're in there, and they're just in a dark in a drawer, like you would keep a sock.
They don't give a fuck, Vic. We need our chicken.
And then we go, and then the best is like, well, that's the free range side, and this is the non-free range side. So I'm like, they look the same. They said, no. See, there's a door over there where they can go to the little yard. So let me tell you what chickens do with free range. So chickens, there's a reason they call you chicken, right? Because you don't want to do something, right? So I watched for 20 minutes. The toughest chicken would look out the door and be like, tell the other chickens, fuck that, bro. And they would so the free range ones were just huddled around the door. And then the other ones were just sitting in the dark. That's the only difference.
He's right.
Man.
When they say free range or cage free, all it means is they have a door so they could go outside. That's it.
But they don't go outside.
No,
they're chicken.
But then, but what was it? What does this? The FDA or whatever the hell?
Yeah,
they said as long as you give them an option to go outside, you could call your eggs cage free or free range eggs or chickens or whatever. But it's all bullshit. They're not going outside is his point.
God.
And the thing is you know, everybody's amazed, but it's everybody's fault because there's no reason you should have the access that we have. You know, there's parts of if we ate properly, there'd be times there wouldn't be beets, guys. You know, you go to the supermarket and there wouldn't be a beet. That you would go sometimes and there wouldn't be celery, right? That's why everyone knew how to pickle things and can things on their own. Because you would take the Bounty and then turn it into jams, jellies, pickles, and you would do all this stuff, and then you would move through the year like a normal person.
Right.
but you want to live in New York City, and it's the middle of January, and it's like, I want a parrot rainbow beet, and they have it. And for them to have it, there for $2.99 a pound, a lot of bad shit has to happen. You know what I mean? That nobody wants to talk about. You know what I mean? For you to have a chicken breast the size of your head, right?
Yeah, they're big.
Bad shit happened. A lot of creepy stuff, a lot of backyard deals, a lot of backhanded deals, a lot of hormones, a lot of steroids. All this stuff happened so that you can take your little styrofoam package and say, I'm having chicken tonight. And that's
Paleo.
It is.
So people, it's our own fault. It's people's own fault. You know, it used to be, can I get a chicken? No more chicken.
Yeah, we're
When's
out.
there chicken?
Right.
June and chicken.
Right.
We got chickens in June. And you're like, okay. So when the chickens would come, you would confit the chicken. You'd preserve the chicken. You would make chicken stock. That was real life. Now it's like, I want a black bass right now. Bad shit has to happen for you to be able to do that. Wow. You know?
Is that
Give this guy
amazing?
monkfish.
No,
The chicken thing, I was online once and they showed like a healthy plump chicken from back in the day.
Right.
Compared to what we consider a healthy plump chicken.
Oh my
And
God.
it's night and day.
It looks like a pigeon.
Right.
It looks
the
like
old
a pigeon.
one does.
The
It
old
looks
school
like-
look like a pigeon, and they're like, fuck that. People want plumper chickens, and then they figured out how to raise them faster. So like,
It's like
by
the beginning of the porno career, the end of the porno career.
Exactly.
that was a perfect
But from
analysis there.
the birth of the chicken to your plate, it's insane how.
I think
how many days is it now?
I think it's up to 90 days you get
Yeah.
full chicken.
Yeah.
90 from a little chicken in a dark
A tiny
drawer.
chicken that you like. I go to these petting zoos with my little kids, and we're petting that thing, and in 90 days, that's a full, plump chicken on
Yeah.
your
You want to hear
plate.
something? You want to hear something?
How
fun?
long did it
Bigger
used to
than-
be?
But how are they doing that?
Like a fucking chicken. A
I mean,
year.
a chicken,
A year, I was
chicken,
gonna say, 8
will
months.
live 2 years. I've had chicken that 18 months old.
Yeah.
So there's a restaurant in Japan where they specialize in the mother and the child.
You can't even say serious. You
They're
can't even say
it's so
serious.
evil.
Oh my god!
So you eat like a really fresh bird, like 3 months,
Right.
and it's like really tender and it has no flavor.
Right.
And then you get this hen that's 18 months old, and it's a little tough and gnarly, but you know what? That thing is like, it's like Vic. It's lived. You know, it's like, that thing has
Thank you,
lived.
Nick.
It's got game in it. It's got funkiness, you know?
But no
It
liver.
really is like Vic.
No liver.
Your friend in,
I tried.
talks to your
repeat it.
friend
All
over
gonna
and
be
over
gems.
for too long.
Yeah. But how are they plumping up the chicken so quickly?
Hormones.
It's all hormones, and steroids.
Yeah,
Wow.
steroids.
Can I change gears a little bit? Parmesan cheese. My family they love it. I fucking hate it.
I fucking hate you.
No, it's not. It's not the fresh Parmesan cheese. I'm talking about the shit.
They like
that
the old Kraft in the
Well,
green can.
Yeah, but
I
that is,
hate
first
that.
of all, that's
I knew you were going to say that.
My point
Yeah,
is,
but-
I'm no fan of the can.
no. That's not cheese.
I started earlier by saying I don't know shit about food in general, but I know I have no doubt in my mind. Thank you. You beat me to the punch, but there's filler or something.
Yeah,
in that.
there is. There
when,
is.
When you're sprinkling it from a bottle or whatever, and then you go to a restaurant and they're scraping it off fresh for you, it's two different things.
My friend would my friend would go and when they would have a dish with Parmesan cheese, he would take out his lighter and put it against the cheese. And if it turned yellow, it was real, and if it turned brown, it was fake because you'd burn the filler.
What's the filler?
The filler could be sawdust.
Yeah,
literally sawdust. It could be
I
whatever.
mean, I think that's
I've been
less.
convinced over the years that it was sawdust, but
Yeah.
sawdust is very popular.
Well, so think
What do
about
you mean? What?
sawdust is organic. It's just
Yeah,
wood.
it's wood.
and it's so thin that you're going to digest it.
Right.
It's going to probably melt into
you probably eat a lot more sawdust than you think, my friend.
what is it in?
A lot of stuff. You
Like
know,
what? Give me a few more.
Like pre-made meatballs, a binder for jalapeno poppers. Very low-grade commercial food. You know, like when your wife thinks that she's a chef, so she buys all the frozen hors d'oeuvres for that shitty cocktail party.
Right.
Yeah, sawdust party.
Wow.
Good
Highly
job, Martha
flammable.
Stewart. Martha Stewart, you loser.
So are they doing the sawdust for the Parmesan
Yeah,
cheese?
so
a little bit?
you don't want. I don't think you ever want to buy pre-shredded anything, whether it's beef, right? I mean, really, you should ultimately have the butcher grind it for you,
Right.
or grind it yourself.
Right.
And the same with cheese. Like, who knows what's in that cheese? You know, when you get a wheel of Parmesano Reggiano, that's real Parmesan cheese. If it doesn't say Reggiano on it, it's not. Look, the government in Italy is very strict about what they designate as real Italian cheese. So you can look to those places in the same way that you look at wine appellations, right?
Right.
Or like champagne, right? Those things are regulated by the government.
Right.
Craft is not regulated by the Italian government
Craft
to
is the
uphold
government.
Italian culture. Right. You know what I mean?
But that's
Like-
but you know, you bring up a great point, right? So when I go to a supermarket, I suffer because I'm used to buying things in primal cuts, right? Like I go to a supermarket and who the hell wants to buy a thing full of drumsticks? That's scary. Like I got to look at this chicken. So my friend has 2 kill houses in Union City. I go look at the live chickens, and sometimes if I see a cute little snappy guinea hen that gets my eye, I'll kill that one. You know what I mean? But let me tell you something. A freshly killed chicken, first of all, you can't eat it right away. You got to let it rest for a day, but it's delicious. It just tastes better. You know, it doesn't have that refrigerator. When I eat chicken from a supermarket, I'm like, why is it yellow? Chickens aren't yellow, bro. Like, why is this
Right.
chicken yellow?
Right.
No one walks the supermarket and goes, that's not the color of chicken skin. That shouldn't be the color of chicken skin. The bones have no development. When you eat the fried chicken, like with cheap chicken or commercial chicken, there's no way around it. I mean, chicken has surpassed beef, I'm sure, by now.
It's the most popular protein
Right.
in the States.
But when I bite it and I see the clear white bone on a chicken, I'm like, did this thing even walk?
it didn't even use those
my
bones.
God, really?
Yeah.
Well, those things, they barely provide any kind of skeletal structural integrity, right? They're so
Yeah.
like, you can snap them.
Oh, you
know.
can take a giant chicken and literally break them in half. There's no, their bones are so soft. You ever try to pull the wishbone out of a real chicken? You can't. You got to use a knife. With the commercial chickens, I used to sit there and boom, 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 like grenade clips.
Wow.
Bop, bop. And if you look at, you ever finish or eat a roasted chicken and then you look at its carcass, it's tiny compared to the amount of meat that was on it.
Yeah.
It doesn't make sense. So if you watch these chickens right before they kill them, they're very clumsy, and a lot of them break their legs and they have to kill them right away, and because they're fake. They've been so juiced up that they're basically like from New Jersey, like dudes from New Jersey. Like they got, Big Guido just gets knocked out one shot. He hasn't done legs for fucking 10 years.
Just buys and tries.
Just
baby.
buys and
Buys
tries. So he's looking through the tent top, but one girl with 3 sangrias in her punches him in the face, and he's night.
Wow, this is fascinating. What else? So what else about restaurant myths? Or you know, like,
Well, my-
you know what being like kind of a newbie to this whole world, I want to hear more stuff like the Sawdust, stuff like that will just blow me and Vic's minds, because you didn't know about the Sawdust.
I knew. Well, I know Geta and Scrapple, and those are.
yeah.
They would when you're poor in the Depression, you started throwing stuff in, but those were usually grains. It wasn't sawdust.
Yeah,
But
It's like Vic Henley brings up in Mississippi, and in small parts of Mississippi, there's a thing called the slug burger. And the slug burgers during the war, you know, bullshit wasn't during the war, just poor Southerners.
Yeah, that's all
No,
that.
but it was during the Dust Bowl.
Was
That's when
it during the Dust Bowl?
Yeah, so
they would take soybeans and mix them with beef and then fry it with a little bit of icebox mustard. It's kind of delicious sometimes.
yeah, listen, like
I don't like it. I've had it. I know what he's talking about. I could.
You hate it.
Well, yeah, because I like a real hamburger. So we used to
what's
get
funny?
those at lunch. We got the shitty ones at lunch.
So
At
slug
school?
burgers are
Yes,
having
at
a
school.
resurgence. Like there's a place that my friend owns. It's called Hugh Babies in Nashville. Now he's going to have a couple.
fantastic. Pat Martin.
Pat Martin.
One of the great pit masters.
One of the great pit masters in the country. And Pat brought back every Friday at his place you can get a slug burger. So the first time I see someone, it was like some hipster eating the slug burger. Isn't this awesome? And there's some old Southern guy who goes, boy, ain't you stupid or something? We ate that because we had to.
Right, not because you
You're
wanted
paying
to.
for a slug burger? What the
Right.
hell is wrong with you?
No, it's like these idiots drinking PBR and thinking it's not fucking swill. It's PBR, dick. We got jobs to not have to drink PBR.
I like that cheap beer though.
Ah, you're awful.
That's that.
That's right. I did not miss Vic Henley. That's right. Remind yourself. Note to self.
Well,
Falstaff?
my big pet peeve is when a restaurant says aged beef on it.
Oh.
All beef is aged.
Right.
Okay. Why why Carl gasps when I say that is because what we love is dry aged beef,
Right.
and that's different from regular beef.
Yes.
Right.
It is very.
And dry aged beef is what you get in the top steakhouses. It's what they cook in the 4-star restaurants. It's not like other beef. It's much more expensive. It's a lot better, and I'm about to tell you why. All beef needs to be aged after you've dispatched the animal in order to make it tender. So it takes like 3 weeks to age it. And the way that beef used to always be aged was they would hang the carcass, wait 3 weeks, come back. The enzymes in that animal have softened the flesh, and then you can eat that as a nice juicy steak or whatever you're doing with it.
Nick, can I stop you for a second?
Yeah.
How did they figure that out back in the day?
I think that it was really just like you've killed an animal, right? There's 3 of you. You've got this 2,000-pound auroch, which is the ancestor to the cow. And what are you going to do? Like you make a couple of pelts, you get this meat, and you're like, they probably were like, well, let's just leave it in the cave.
So
yeah.
you know,
basically what
keep it out of the
So,
sun.
they have all this beef. So I would assume they eat it at first thinking, oh, we got to eat it fresh, but there's still more left over. And they probably somewhere along the way realized, oh my God, this thing's been sitting around 2-3 weeks and it's even better than when
and
we
think
first
about,
started
like,
eating this thing.
These people had so much shit to do. They were dumb, right? So the first thing they did was probably take the neck out and do a dance for some sun god because they caught this stupid thing in the first
Well,
place.
it was definitely a
So it probably
was-
takes 3 weeks for them to do it first, drawing their bullshit on the cave and everything by the time they got to eat.
Look, every time we sit down and eat a plate, right, there was a Darwinian reduction. People ate meat that went rancid and died.
Right.
The next person came by, didn't age it quite that way, but died another way. Like that reduction killed like hundreds of thousands of people died, right, to get us to the point where we can eat beef. Dry age, great flavor. Like, so, you know, at least when you sit down for a steak, think about all the idiots that died to get us to that point.
Right.
But, you know, it must have just been a process of elimination, right? In the same way. And who knew that it would actually improve the product? But think about grape juice, which is preserved wine. Think about, you know, duck confit, which is like long cooked duck.
And what-
Like the longer you take these things from death, whether it's cheese or wine or meat, like the flavors become more profound, they become more intense, and they become different, right?
I absolutely. It starts to tell a story.
Yeah,
A whole
exactly.
different story.
A whole different story.
One thing I want to tell everybody that I've seen across the country in lower end restaurants and middle all restaurants. CAB, when you see on a menu, certified Angus beef, doesn't mean it's good. It just means that it's an Angus cow. Please stop it. It's crazy. You know, it's like blue pig. Okay, thank you, but it doesn't matter. Follow the things. It's either prime or choice or select, and you got the no roll, which is my favorite. No roll is like sometimes it can get
That's
a little
prisoners. That's what the prisoners eat.
yeah. And then I worked at a restaurant once, and we used to do a Cuban steak, and it was like a palomilla steak. And this guy came to sell me dairy cow meat. I never saw it before. So they would kill these old.
Gray.
It's gray. Oh my God. This cow, I mean, I'm sure they killed it with a pencil. It was so old.
In the eye, you stabbed it right.
No,
in
no,
the
he
eye.
just said, I'm going to kill you now.
Okay, all right. I was like, you lost me for a second.
Fucking Vic.
He was totally from
No,
Alabama.
I literally
Right.
thought
Right
you
in
were.
the eye. Get him in here. Bleed out through the eye. That's what you're thinking.
That's exactly what.
That thing will bleed like a sieve. Turn him over. He's bleeding, Mom.
Well, now you're moving into into the steakhouse category. I don't know if we have time, but
Oh, my God.
give me
What
a
is-
few things about steakhouses.
Yeah,
Like,
Nick.
you know, what my favorite meat is
What is it?
filet mignon.
That's not a meat. That's a cut of beef.
You know that, right?
What do you mean? No, I'm serious. I order filet mignon. It's like
Okay, but all
tenderloin.
right. So, but why do you order filet mignon?
Because he got the baby teeth.
He doesn't, though. I mean,
The baby wants softy steak.
I lean on the side of healthy. So
How is that? That can't be for health.
so. Well, it's better than all the fat in it.
saying it's the leanest.
Look, a steak with all the fat. I'm not going to sit here. Yeah, of course, it's amazing, but over the years, just to stay a little healthier, I will, if I go to a steak, 9 out of 10 times I go to a steak joint, I'll order the filet mignon, and then I'll go get hog crazy on a porterhouse or something the 10th time.
well, but you know that. But hold on.
Go ahead. We'll tag
A
team.
porterhouse
You go
has
first.
filet in it.
Yeah, no, I know that.
right? So
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
eating the fillet either way.
The fillet part of the porterhouse. Yes.
I mean, it's true that it is, it's leaner than any other piece of meat. And that's also why me and Carl don't like it, because fat is where you get the flavor in beef.
Right.
And if it has no fat, which most filet doesn't have, you're not going to get a lot of flavor. Filet is really a cut that the chef has to bring flavor to. That's why the French do all these sauces like béarnaise and, all these peppercorn and these
the
really
peppercorn,
rich,
yeah.
these mother sauces that are really rich and bring unctuousness to the flavor, to the steak itself. But a good rib steak has that in abundance anyway.
So let's talk about the healthy part. First of all,
Yeah, because this is clearly an expert on health right here.
I'm the picture of health.
Oh, look at the time. I got to go.
Dead. I'm an authority on health because I should be dead.
That is true. As your attorney,
I'm like a guy that fell out of a plane and lived at the flying out of the plane and lived seminar. So fucking listen to this, Hope. First of all, I don't know if it's healthier because number one, you can't eat it by itself. You got to eat it with something because it's so dry, right?
Yes.
Number two, on ribeye, say you grill or roast a ribeye at 600, 800 degrees, all that fat that was in the middle of the steak is gone now.
Right.
It's rendered.
It's rendered, and that's one of the things that make it great. It creates these little air pockets in a ribeye because there was nothing to replace that fat that was rendered at that high temperature. So that makes it delicious.
It's also, and not to delve too much into the geekiness of nutrition, but the concept of fat being bad for you and causing fat, like when we eat, like we're going to get fat from eating sugar. Sugar is instant energy for us. We take that and we're like, okay, let's store that as fat.
Right.
But it's not like we store beef fat as human fat. We have to convert that into our own fat, right?
Right.
And protein is actually a fairly efficient form of nutrition compared to to other things,
Candy.
right? The candy. Well, candy, the problem with candy is actually that it's too nutritious.
There's no problems with candy.
No, you're the problem.
Yeah. The problem is that you're bashing candy. This is not the forum for that.
Candy proves there's a God.
So what we're suggesting is if you go to a steakhouse, unless it's Carl and I, it's a regular occurrence for us. I've
Right.
steaked the last 3 nights, but generally most people go for once a week, once a month. Don't go there and equivocate. Don't
You might as well enjoy.
You might as well
yourself.
get a proper steak.
Because you're not wrong. I mean,
Look, a filet.
I drown my filet mignon in all the steak sauce.
Right. So steak sauce has a lot of
yeah.
sugar in it.
Yeah.
Really?
Right. You're adding
No, but if I
calories.
have a porterhouse, to Nick's point,
you
no,
don't do that.
No, I
There's
don't.
no reason to.
No,
It-
maybe
it-
a little dab, maybe, but in
But
general,
it's usually self-sourced.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Yeah, right.
It's
Absolutely.
based in its
Delicious.
own fat.
I think we're running out of time, but there's. I want to end with you hitting us with a couple more of like the really crazy shit with restaurants. I'll start with one. My wife, she will not send anything back, and I have no problem sending something back if I don't like it, if I think it's undercooked or whatever. And she's like, "Why would you do that?" And we all think you send someone back, the chef is in the back spitting on it.
Well,
What's the myth there?
Let me ask you this: if you think the chef would do that, why would you eat in his restaurant in the first place?
Nice.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Good point. That's it, everybody.
All right, everybody.
All right, let's see you later. Let's go
His
eat.
head exploded.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Because in the end, they want you to come back, obviously.
well, they do, and the fact is that, like,
And
don't
if
take
there's a
this
big-
disgruntled.
If there's a big snot rocket on the top of your salmon when they bring
these
it back
things
to you,
are-
you're not
but do you
coming
really
back.
want-
Look, there's
No,
two,
I get it.
There's two
yeah.
things at play here. One, the chef isn't cooking a steak. There's a guy out there. That guy is getting reamed out by the chef because that guy's making the chef look bad. That chef wants to please you, right?
So this is interesting. So you should never be afraid to send your food
I don't
back.
think you should be afraid because not only are you doing yourself a favor, you're doing everyone else
Yeah.
who's going to order a steak from that guy a favor because that guy's not going to fuck up the next steak.
Right. All right,
And
you guys both give me one more. One that'll just kind of blow the mind.
I'll tell you one thing. One thing that I saw, I wasn't in the restaurant, but most people eat salmon, right? And one thing that blew my mind was I went into a salmon farm, and I see this lady shows up with a color wheel. They have them penned. She comes up with the color wheel, and she looks at the fish. She moves the color wheel. She checks it. She comes back with a bucket of orange dye and just throws it in the water. And now the salmon flesh meat is orange. It had nothing to do because salmon are orange because of the krill of this little miniature animal,
right.
and that makes them orange, right?
Same reason flamingos are pink.
Right, but in this pen they don't turn orange. They're gray inside, and literally just dumped a 5-gallon bucket. So the lady's talking to us about how beautiful the salmon are, and this is going on behind me. I'm like, lady, what the hell's going on up there?
Why is that person pouring orange dye?
And it was like blood orange, the color, and you could smell the dye. Like, imagine to turn a living animal another color on the inside, not on the outside, on the inside.
Right.
And then I started looking at it, and the fish are so sloppily bred that you start seeing, like I saw salmons with 2 gills.
3 eyes.
Like an extra little, like where an eye would start to grow. Sea lice in the gills. I mean, just sea lice, let me tell you, is one of the scariest looking things you've ever seen. It's like a clear tick, and it has all these, it's disgusting.
I mean,
and that's what you're eating when you're eating all this.
Farm fish is not good. I mean, especially farm shrimp, which a lot of low quality shrimp is.
Oh my God!
It's all cooked it's all made in the Far East. There's like no environmental standards. It's not good.
And I'll tell you this, and you won't want to hear this, but you're not going to like. A lot of places, they'll pen the shrimp. They'll keep the shrimp next to where the sewers give out because they get free food, all human shit and everything coming out into the water. That's where you put the shrimp, and they grow pretty good for free. You know?
They go to town?
Huh?
They go to town on our feces?
Oh, they love it.
Come on.
Of course. But this is China. That's not here.
Why wouldn't you?
I'm telling
Both these fuckers know exactly what they're talking about.
Come on was like, come on. Like, oh my God.
Okay, sorry.
Jesus,
Once again,
Vic.
I'm on the literal side of the room.
and if you look at the prices on shrimp, it's unbelievable. You'll see a 16.20, which means 16 to 20 per pound, which is the average shrimp that you eat.
I don't devein shrimp.
You do now.
Yeah, no kidding. I never did before. I
remember
cared
do
about
it top
that.
to bottom. They have 2 veins, one on the bottom, one on the top. Most shrimp that you'll get from China in a 16.20 size is probably $5.50 a pound to $7.50 a pound. Real fresh shrimp will probably cost you about $13. So let me tell you something. If that much difference, if the gully is that deep between one and another, there's some serious shit going on to get you shrimp at $5.
There's a serious quality gulf between the two.
Exactly.
Wow.
Big.
Nick Solaris, give us one more that'll blow our mind to end this. Anything from restaurants or whatever. Something.
Fakeness, falseness.
Yeah. Something will just make you go, ugh.
Oh, let's talk about fake-ass olive oil.
Olive oil?
Olive oil's all bullshit.
Somewhere Rachel Ray is very upset right now.
And
making
we make fun of people with nut allergies because that's what we do. We make fun of anyone who has any kind of.
Well, most of those people should perish.
Well, if they eat olive oil, there's a chance they will because a lot of olive oils are actually fake. They have other oils in them, like hazelnut oil or like cheaper oils, right? And this is a big problem, even in places like France and Spain and Italy that have really good, really top-notch oils. This is something you probably faced a lot, right? When you were a chef, like sourcing, because obviously with a chef, you're trying to get your food costs as low as possible.
Right.
People want olive oil, especially in salads, right? People are worried about health. I'm sure you probably,
Yeah, absolutely.
You're always thinking about olive oil over another kind of oil, but a lot of the times it's no healthier because it has other things in it.
And I know a little bit about this because they did a show on the nut allergy, and some lady died because there was some kind of nut in the fake olive oil,
which is meant to be
whatever.
100% olive oil.
I forgot what kind of restaurant. It was some kind of Asian restaurant or whatever. It might have been a Chinese restaurant or something. It was a big case. And the person died because they said, look, we have a nut allergy. They're like, no problem. But this guy had so many restaurants in his chain that he started cutting corners and he started using the fake shit that had, some of this nut-based stuff in the oils. And that's how this person died, thinking they were completely safe in this restaurant.
Yeah, that's lethal. You got to be careful. Funny, one time, San Marzano tomatoes. Everyone knows what a San Marzano.
Of course. Tell them, though.
Okay. Hey, guys.
Tell those plebs on the other side of the room.
So San Marzano tomatoes, it grows in this little town, and it's very famous. And the San Marzano tomatoes are famous because they grow in volcanic soil. And, it's one of the richest, best tomatoes. So I'm there where they make the tomato, where they grow the tomato. And I'm like, I asked this tiny guy, I go, is this all the tomatoes? He's like, yeah, these are all tomatoes. This is San Marzano. He goes, yeah. Those tomatoes over there, That's all the San Marzano tomatoes? He's like, yeah. I'm like, oh. I'm like, how possible do they have a can of this in every supermarket from California where I can throw a rock from one side of San Marzano to the other? And I kept asking, I'm like, are there more tomatoes
Somewhere else.
over there?
Over the
He
other side of the hill?
No, those are sheep. I said, okay. I said, what's over there? Oh, that's sheep too. This is the tomatoes. I said, this is the San Marzano. I said, yeah, those are your tomatoes. Okay. I couldn't believe it. There wasn't enough to fill up one Whole Foods there. I'm like, where are they bringing these tomatoes from?
And how can they get away with calling it that when it's not?
Because it probably not really saying anything. They turned the name San Marzano into a brand. So that's San Marzano. It has nothing to do with the town. But you're buying this shit and it doesn't even in it.
And especially in Italy, they'll have things that are considered DOP, right? And that's
DOP.
a stamp of authenticity.
Right.
Wow.
It's like putting it's like being registered.
Exactly.
What about dumb pumpkins? Stupid, dumb pumpkins and pumpkin puree and all that horse shit.
Well, I revile the pumpkin spice season because it's made its way into beers and everything else at this point.
It's in everything.
Breakfast cereals and
I got you beat, and you can look it up. Pumpkin flavored, was it flavored? Scented, pumpkin scented toilet paper. Beat that one.
I'm just flummoxed. I don't.
You win.
You can't beat that one.
Right.
That is
You got it.
That's the de facto end of Western civilization. Right? Like there is no.
That's when I was like, enough.
No, but a lot of that, like you see those Libby's pumpkin cans that everyone uses to make their pumpkin. That's not pumpkin.
It's
That's
not.
winter squash.
Yeah. It's not even pumpkin.
It's not even pumpkin.
It's cheap horse squash. We call it, you feed a horse. Right. It's awful. And they put pumpkin flavor in food color.
And they sweeten it and food color.
Right.
And because you don't know, you're putting it in a pie crust and you're putting whipped cream on it and cinnamon and all this other stuff, right?
I remember as the first time a pastry chef made me a real pumpkin pie. They're like,
Never
what do you think? I'm
tasted-
like, this is shit.
This tastes like a pumpkin.
I'm like, let's go get the one from A&P. That one was awesome. They're like, no, that's not pumpkin. I'm like, all right. They're like, no, chef, that's winter squash that they sweeten. This is real pumpkin.
That's what I want.
They're like, what do you think? I'm like, I don't like pumpkin. That was it.
I like the pumpkin seed. I like the Mexican salsa. What do you call it? The sickle
Oh,
pack.
pepitas.
Or they're sickle pack. It's like a salsa. That
it's delicious.
Yeah. I'm not saying it right, but.
We got to wrap up because we rented a little studio time today. But look at that. Read and weep. Pumpkin scented or flavored toilet paper.
That is.
But
Carl and I believe
I'm going to send that to all my enemies.
But I just beat it with this as I was looking it up. Read that, Nick, for everybody.
Oh, no. I see it.
Read that,
That
Nick.
is glorious.
This is how we end
16
this.
pumpkin spiced Tampax.
They put pumpkin flavor or
How
And
does that?
Tampax.
Well, that would be like a sweet and sour because
Oh, good night. Good night.
Look what's under it.
Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
Don't forget to subscribe. Share this episode with a foodie pal. Unless you'd rather the snob pay top dollar for bullshit aesthetics like waterfalls and golden Buddhas while eating crab dishes of fraudulent Kobe beef and fake cheese. And give us a 5-star review at Apple Podcasts. Visit opieradio.com for merch. Throw on a hat or a cool Carl's Creepy Cabin t-shirt and piss off your friends because they don't get the inside joke. Fuck them. That's what they get for not listening to Opie Radio.